All right, hello everyone. This is Brian Beamish coming to you again, the Canadian Rational Investor, CR Investor on Twitter and TradingView, with your daily Bitcoin summary here. Lots of action overnight, so let's get to the charts. Today here is, let's see where we are. Here we are. Today is Thursday, as we said, July 10th. We're slowly making our way through the summer here, and actually interesting, we often call this July-August period the summer doldrums, and you can sort of see that the market's calming down here a bit. But anyway, here is our daily BTCE chart. Here's our big run-up last fall. Here's our correction through the spring and summer. Winter and spring. Here is our optimal trade entry long zone, so not a big surprise anytime it sort of zipped down into this area, it was quickly rejected. Out of this bottom through the late spring, inverted head and shoulders, really great trade setup, huge percentage return there. We rallied back up into the 38.2, and earlier on I just looked at the year-to-date high. Here's the year-to-date high way up here, and that just so happened, this rally just so happened to be right into the 50% level of that year-to-date range. So not a big surprise. We need to take a pause here around the 38.2. If we assume that we're going to run into a bit of resistance here, which seems to be the case, the question ultimately becomes, all right, maybe we need to correct back down. And if we were going to correct back down, obviously first stop, just as it was resistance on the way up, it should be support on the way down, and that's basically what's happened here. We put in this wide double bottom here on the daily charts right off the 38.2. Long and short of this message here is we have two potential sort of destination zones. Either the bull A, B, C, D on a resolution through the top here should take us at least up into the bottom of the daily optimal short zone, or a bearish resolution through 38.2 ought to take us down into the 4-hour OTE long zone. And really, I would say right now we're just consolidating, and a break, and as the note here says, as a break of this consolidation range will dictate the next trade. If we look at the internal indicators, we can see OBV has really calmed down here. You know, the big chunky volume bars that we saw through the winter and the early spring, they've basically gone. As I said, we're sort of in summer doldrums period right now, so you can really see trading volume has dropped off. We do have a potential, in fact, not potential, it's confirmed, a daily bearish momentum divergence where this high here represents this high, and this high here represents this high. This high is lower than this high on the momentum, but this high was higher on the price, so that's basically what we call a divergence. It's confirmed if momentum goes through these lows down here, and you can see that that happened right through here. So basically we have a double top in momentum, and yet we had higher highs and higher lows in price. So really my hunch is for people that are bullish, we have to wait for this to resolve itself before we can really see the next leg higher in earnest. If we look at Willie, we can see, you know, through the late winter there, we did get a little stupid oversold condition. So basically told you that selling down here was not a good idea. Indeed, that proved to be correct. Conversely, we had Willie get into a stupidly overbought condition here, which just basically meant that purchases up in this area were not a good idea. And that's basically played itself out. Now, what I do notice here over the past few days, while not quote-unquote stupid, we do have a bit of a momentum break here. You know, it's not giving us, you know, wildly overbought or oversold conditions. This could just be a lot of chop in here. And that would just sort of correspond with this notion that we're sort of trapped between these 38.2s right now. All right, so if we drill down to a lower time frame, here is the 4-hour of that BTCE. And basically now we're going to concentrate on this price action in particular off of the 4-hour. All right, so when we zoom in there, we see that price rallied up, put in a 4-hour topping setup, considering Willie overbought on the dailies. Not a bad trade idea. Sure enough, here's the 38.2 off of that run up. If we just zoom out here for you. There's the low there for, no, I beg your pardon. The low off of the entire range down to that 340, all the way up to the, I think it was 685 or something like that. First stop target, very natural. There's the 38.2 right there. Basically, market came down into that zone. Initial test, usually you see some play and a counter trend rally away from it, and that's basically what's happened here. Let's see if we can get rid of those things. There we go. And what this set up over basically the period of June and into July here was a potential bat formation where off of this wide double bottom and the cup and handle formation, we had a pretty good target here on the upside, which just so happened to correspond with the 88.6 fib, and basically that's the bat pattern in a nutshell. And I just screwed up my fibs here. 668.42. Way to go, Brian. Let's see if I can move that. There it is. Okay. So not a big surprise we rallied up into this area and failed. Had we gotten up above this 654.41, I suppose I could have justified actually taking the bat setup. The rally high here was 654.38, so the actual bat setup itself didn't come in, but in essence it gave you a pretty good idea of where the price action was. So off of the lower time frames, if we zoom that in a little more, here's the 1-hour chart now. Any fails up in that 654 area represented not bad shorting ideas. At the same time as hitting the bat and cup and handle formation, you can see Willie got himself nice and stupid there. So we definitely had something to work with, momentum-wise. We also had a bearish momentum divergence here on this move up top. So there's lots of reasons for the market to clean itself up. Interestingly, you can see that OBV didn't actually roll over, but it put in the double top right here, and that just so happened to be right on the level that these two red lines represent, which is basically the double top within double top. So on an hourly basis, if we were looking for a correction, where should a correction most likely go to? Here's our first stop, 38.2. Here is the risk-reward boxes on the trade. And interestingly, the trade basically worked, but I got a little chicken and I dumped the position for maybe about a third of the total profits that I could have realized had I just been patient and waited for the 38.2. I did book a profit, but a little bit of amateur trading there. So a little disappointed in myself, but nonetheless, looks like the analysis was correct. 38.2, 616.40. We also had some 50% level just off of this recent move. And then here's our OTE zone off of that recent move as well. You could also argue, too, there's a 50% level off of the entire move. So that was just hit as well. All right, so here we are today. What do we see happening in the market? Last night, I tweeted about how FNX was potentially putting in a bottom, and there was a setup there, but I think it's an excellent anecdote of why you're probably best to use BTCE when analyzing and picking levels rather than the Phoenix because of all the stop runs there. So what I see here on the BTCE is you can see this wide double bottom tried to form here. And basically key resistance here was 619.80. And look how many bars it went up to 619.80 and just couldn't get through there. And so this tells me that BTCE, I think, is a far more reliable vehicle for judging, setups, in my opinion. And Phoenix, they're just running stops all over the place, so not a big surprise. But anyway, so our high here, as I said, was 619.80. We got up to 619.43, 30, 40, 35, 40, and then she started to back away. So long and short of it here, double bottom on BTCE never did come in. At the same time, do we have momentum and volume confirming the idea? Had we gotten a breakout here, there was a bit of an upthrust, but it just never really gained traction. And we had a bit of a momentum bottom here working, but very much like how we couldn't get through this 619.80, momentum itself couldn't get through these highs here, eh? So we just consolidated, and then finally, as the market couldn't take that 619.80 level out, supply started to hit the price, and down we go. I thought it was interesting, too, that we've seen of late the U.S. stock market hit an important level. And since it hit that level, and you can look at my TradingView publications, I've been squawking about the S&Ps for a while. Last night, I actually conjectured that I thought, before I go to bed, I always like to just sort of plot what I think is going to happen. And interestingly enough, I thought she would break out through the top there and trap a whole bunch of weak longs, but she couldn't even do that, eh? And she just rolled over. I suppose you could argue double tops within double tops. We're starting to get new sell signals here. Momentum, it clearly rolled over here. You could have gone with the trade, but it certainly isn't a trade setup that I would consider. Here was the trade setup that I was considering, but it just never came in. So if it never comes in, just don't do nothing. So this is kind of what I figured. I think what's going to happen here is you see we have this downtrend channel. We're just right now playing with the top of that trend line. That was right off of these old highs. I see that high up there, 654.38. If we lose this trend line in earnest, then we could realistically the bottom, and you can see how price does it. It can zip right down here. The price could easily fall, a pretty good chunk here. This is definitely on the equation, so we're going to have to watch closely how she's going to play along this trend line here. And then conversely, and I drew this dotted line off of this significant high and this significant low. You can see how the market really played with this level through here. You can also see too, actually this fib needs to be corrected. You can also see too here, what a coincidence, 38.2 is sort of right up against that trend line. If we can recapture that trend line, then there's our OTE short sweet spot, still sitting up there basically where we originally shorted this. So basically what that tells me is, if we do get a counter trend rally back up top, the institutions are more than happy to hit it right where it originally broke down. So long and short of all this, lower highs and lower lows, we're still working this bear. These 640 shorts were just brilliant now. I mean, you're just looking like a genius taking those shorts. I did get out prematurely, but long and short of it here, we just did hit an OTE long zone, the 605. If we can't find traction through here, and at least clean things up a bit, then logically our next stop's got to be this OTE down here. That's basically playing with the 600 level down to 5 3/4. And really, until we start putting in higher lows and higher highs, and at least the momentum starts putting in lower highs and higher lows and lower highs, and volume for that matter too, it's impossible for me to be bullish. I just can't be. We had potentially a nice little consolidation with a potential bottom. It just never did come in. So now it's just a whole bunch more hurry up and wait. All right, so that's basically your summary for today. Long and short of it here, just sitting on the fence, twiddling my thumbs, waiting for a bottom to come in, and we'll see what the setups dictate. Long and short of all this, we did potentially have a bottom set up on BTCE that would have been confirmed on a move through 619.80. Never did come in, so the bear's still at the wheel for BTCE at the moment. All right, so that's basically your summary for today. Have yourselves a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now.